So I finished Death Note on the Patreon today. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of bummed out that it's over. It had become just part of my weekly watch. So I'm kind of like sad that it's over. And I've been thinking about it all day. There's so much good music from it. Like, wow, the characters were so great. The compositions were awesome. But Ryuk's theme is pretty cool. I found a transcription for it for KYRIE 2 here. And I think we'll take a listen to that and just kind of read along with the melodic lines here and just kind of contemplate and think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm bummed, dude. That was a really good story. I definitely was Team Light. I was voting for the bad guy the whole time. And yeah, the ending, I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I mean, I figured it would turn out the way it did, but I had hope that it wouldn't turn out that way, but it did. But all in all, it was a great story. And yeah, let's take a look at this. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? It's so gorgeous to listen to kind of front to back there and just look at the score and see exactly how that is all laid out. So obviously, let's go back and look at it again, but maybe do some stops and starts and just talk about some of these parts. So we're very strongly in D minor here. The key signature is 1 flat, B flat, and D minor is the relative minor of F major. You can see that the bass part is just droning out here in D. So the first 3 bars. And the lyrical content is just a really strong push in that direction. Do, me, fa, so. That's 1, 3, 4, 5. Ba, da, da, dee, da, da, da. So you can see the raised 6 here. Add some, the B natural adds some really great. The lyrical content is so good. Let's just listen to that again. And then. Ba-da-da-da. Such a nice resolution. Now we're going to go down here to 7-1. Ba-da-bum. Moving on. Wow. That's a beautiful cadential point there in the piece. It's a very strong because the bass, we have a D, we have an A in the tenor, we have a D and a D. So primarily the root, it's just root and fifth because D to A is a perfect fifth there. And that's really what's ringing. But we approach it in the 6/4 bar. The soprano part goes E, E, D. So that's 2, 2, 1. The alto part is the same thing, E, E, D. Now the tenor part note, though, has an ascension there. We go E, G, A. So you can see we're walking up 2, 4, and 5. And then the bass part has a little bit different. We go E, G, D. So you go from 2 to 4 to 5. So I think this beat 2 here is an E minor chord in a second inversion. But beautiful voice leading, and the way it arrives is just gorgeous. And then you can see the tenor line is going to take back over, and they have some expression marks here moving forward. We get a little more aggressive in how we push through. So let's go back a couple bars and then just let the tenor kind of take over. Here we go. See how that felt so much different, because look at the leaps we have. We jump from the A to the C to the raised 6, and then we leap up again, and then we still go up, so you can see the contour is going up, and just kind of dynamically we're shifting and pushing that, and then we resolve and come back, and again, root to 5 relationships right there. Isn't it? Isn't it gorgeous, man? It really, really is. Let's go back and appreciate that again. Just a little chunk here. Moving on. Now, before the soprano and alto come in, look at this part. This is an ascending sequence right here, and then we get the descending sequence, and then we get it once again. So you can see the phrasing. It's too bad to split up between the 2 pages. At least the measures light up, though, as I move them through the mouse. This is really nice. This transcription that's on MuseScore. Just searched it and found it. So shout out to them, whoever made this. Thank you very much. Yeah, you can see how this ascends here. We have a similar rhythmic figure, and then once again, a similar rhythmic figure as the part comes down. So we'll go back a couple bars here and try to get it before that 3 or 4 bar happens, so you can hear that in context. Here comes soprano altos. Ooh. Now that was a little bit different, right? Look at the movement here, and look in the stacked harmonies and how this is working before we get to a similar resolution. And it's spread out a little bit too. God, I love this stuff. This is so much fun to do. Let's listen to it again. We'll keep going. Wow. That gives me so many tingles. It's very cool to see how this phrasing in this melody is so similar to what we had in the men's part earlier, but it just feels different with this. Instead of just previously, we just had a D on the drone, where now it's still primarily the lower voice in the alto here. You can still see it's D, 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 but you have mixes of an F here, which is, remember, the 3rd, and we get a little bit of dissonance as the E sneaks in here, but then it resolves to root and 3rd here, and then again, obviously on the root. But you can see here, the 2nd scale degree is also emphasized as the ascension. So sorry, the descension comes back down. So that's where you just get those momentary little, it's like a little chef's kiss of dissonance. I'm going to go back about 10 seconds and we'll try to find it. But these 3 bars here to this cadential resolution is the important part here. Listen here. Isn't that great? Oh my God, man. Let's go on. So that's basically a round right there. You know when you sing like row, row, row your boat, bun, da, dun, da, da, and then you start, and then your friend starts, and you space it out. Similar purpose, similar thing that's going on here. You can see it here. Bum, 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 bum. On beat 3, the same thing starts. Then right here, this layer is in, and you can see over here on this measure, beat 3, we have similar movement. And then do we have any more? Yeah, and it comes back in here. So let's try to get this back where it says with morning here. That's measure 26. Let's just go back a little bit. And it's so obvious how they all start. And it's very, very, very impactful. Again. Oh my God, dude, this is so awesome. I love this stuff, man. This is so much fun to do. Jeez, look at this. And now we're going to pull back on dynamics. We slow it down a little bit of tempo too, and we're going to just crescendo out onto this here. Let's get the context of the last 4 bars here. Wow, that is amazing. God, look at this last. Okay, so we have an A in the bass, we have an E in the tenor line, we have a G in the alto line, and we have a D in soprano line. So you'll notice that is by far the most spatial chord that we've had, and nobody is on the same note. So obviously it's, you know, a lot more just spread out. And you know, we're always talking about voice leading in the music that we listen to in the channel all the time. This is exactly what voice leading is. You can see how, so we have a half note here, and then we resolve to this whole note. You can see how the chord is spelled. That is literally like the definition of voice leading. This is how we're spelling all this out. So A to the E. So now you know the E is the second, and we know that A, D, F, A is the fifth. So basically it's maybe, we'll see, when we have a root in the soprano chord. So that's the 5, that's the 1. So we're going to assume right now it's in second inversion. And second inversion means that when you build the triad, you have 1, 3, and 5. And if 3 is in the bass, that is the first inversion, because normally 1 would be in the bass, right? Then you put it on top, so you've inverted the chord. If we have 5 in the bass, which is 5 because D, F, A, we have a big fat A right down here, that suggests possibly that this is in the second inversion. So now we have a D here. This is a second scale degree. We can think of that as 2 or 9. Then we have a G here. So if you go D, F, A, C, E, G, you can count up there, or you can just look down here. Like here's, you can't really see where the mouse is pointing, so this is a little bit silly to talk about, I guess, but that would be 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So you have the 2 and the 4 ringing against each other. So we're really getting some colors there. So chords are fun because you can kind of explain them in like there's more than one way to explain things. So whatever your context is going to be is kind of how I feel like we'd have to turn this into like more of a music theory video, and that would probably just get a little more confusing. But just know the way this resolves is pretty fun, because if you just go back 1 bar, we can look right here. We have a B natural in the bass line. Remember, that's at raised 6, and we haven't had that at all in the bass line. And it steps down. We go B to A, and then once again on the A. So you have 6, 5, 5. Very cool. On the tenor line, we have E, D, E. So you're going 2, 1, 2. On the alto line, we have B natural there. So that's doubling with the bass line there. That's that raised 6. They're going B, C, G. So that's, look at the jump here. That's cool. The alto part actually has a jump of a 5th resolving into that chord. And then here in the soprano line, we have E, G, and we jump way up, very similar, up to the D there. So that's pretty awesome. Let's try to put those last 4 bars in audio context, I guess, you know, and sorry, this is probably getting a little bit too much. But it's really only scratching the surface though, because this stuff is really fun. So anyway, I went back a little bit. Let's try to get this ending. Oh, I didn't go back far enough. Hold on, please and thank you. Here we go. Now here it comes. End. What a cool sound, man. That is outstanding. So there you go. That was a lot of fun just to think about. And, you know, Death Note had a lot of really good stuff going on. So I just figured it would be kind of fun to take a look at this and just appreciate, you know, stuff that, you know, you don't normally experience in anime music as the primary focus. So Ryuk had a very cool theme. So there it is. My name is DrumRollTony. Come watch some anime with me on Patreon. All the links are down in the video description below. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. YouTube thinks you would like to watch one of these 2 videos next. Have a great day. Take it easy. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.